When I went to Lexington, Kentucky, I was there 3 years. Um, I guess one of the biggest things that happened while I was in Lexington was uh, President Carter invoked the Taft-Hartley injunction on the coal miners because there was a big coal mine strike, and we had many coal mines in Eastern District of Kentucky. So when all the process came in, we had to set it up to get out and serve all that process as quickly as possible. And of course, it came down on a Friday night, so we had to do it on Saturday. And with all the coal mines and all the local presidents and union people had to be served. And we sent out two-man teams to all these different places. You walk into a union hall that was, 100, 150 miners in there, everyone unpacking a sidearm, and rifles and everything else. And you got two guys walk in there to serve papers on them. It gets a little hinky. But we never had an issue, never had a problem. The coal miners were, they didn't want us there, but they cooperated. They were very amenable. And so we served all of our process in East Kentucky. And I was born and raised in Western Pennsylvania in the coal mines. And the Marshal in Western Pennsylvania called my Marshal in Kentucky and asked if I would go up there and help them because they hadn't finished yet. And I just told my Marshal, I don't want to go up there. I went to school with a lot of those guys. I just don't want to do that unless he forces me to. And he said, well, I'm not going to force you. So I never had to go. But, all the guys I went to high school with were coal miners. So it was kind of tough for me to go in there and try to, invoke the Taft-Hartley injunction on them, serve this process. But we never had a problem in East Kentucky. It worked out extremely well. And the thing eventually got settled. But it was kind of a big issue at the time. Not too often did you see the Taft-Hartley injunction, enforced or issued even. And
why did he issue it?
Because of the energy crisis, I think, and the coal was so viable to our economy, and all the coal miners were on strike, so they had to get them out there. The coal miners had a legitimate complaint on a lot of this stuff, so it wasn't all one-sided. And they used to say, "Well, don't you believe in what I'm doing?" I says, "I believe in my job. I got to do what I got to do." And there's so many times we were sent out on strikes to issue injunctions to go back to work on strikes. We're just one person, one strike. That's the way they used to say it. I mean, you heard the old saying, Texas Rangers, one riot, one ranger. Well, we did the same thing. And, we used to go to these strikes and just serve the process. And I'll tell you, it was not something that was easy to do, because every time I went to one of them, my stomach was in a knot, because I never knew what was going to happen. These guys could be violent, and you see it on TV when they're violent. But we were very fortunate; they never gave us a problem. I guess we gained their respect because we treated them right, and they treated us right the same way. So